Was that offensive pass interference yesterday?
Yes. Yes.
So then why?
Yes, it was,
then why isn't it?
And to me, it should have been called on the field. But does it or did it rise to the level of what they're looking for in replay that would allow them to come in, look at it, and put offensive pass interference on the play? Answer: no. All you have to do is follow all year long what they've been doing, and you see that there is a different standard that they use for replay, and it's why the rule is so screwed up. But they're consistently enforcing it. Remember last week, Seattle, San Francisco. I mean, my gosh, there was blatant pass interference on San Francisco at the end of the game in the end zone, and it wasn't called, and it wasn't reviewed. And that play right there, had it been reviewed and had it been called, New Orleans would have had, by the way, a first-round bye. But it didn't rise to that level that they felt it needed to rise to, and that's why it's a lose-lose rule. And they got to get rid of it or figure out some way to alter it to where it makes more sense to anybody. I talked to Zimmer and Ziggy Wolf before the game, and they were complaining to me about the rule and how it hurt them so bad when they played Green Bay their first time around. Well, they're probably not complaining now, but it's just a bad rule.
Well, the thing is, again, is they played Green Bay. Let me make sure I get this correct. They played in week 2. It changed, Mike. There's no question it changed, because the way it was described to all of us in the media during the summer is that something like this call, and certainly like the one at the end of the San Francisco-Seattle game, was absolutely going to be a flag installed by replay. And have you been able to suss out what's changed?
Well, I mean, to me, after week 10, I mean, they didn't change anything. I mean, it was almost absurd, and then it started to tighten up a little bit, and everybody thought that, okay, once we get into the playoffs or in week 16 and 17, they're going to make calls that are either pass interference or not pass interference. That's the way they're going to look at it in replay. But they haven't. I mean, you look at it, and you see what happens in San Francisco with the Seattle game. They're not going to rely on replay to call the penalties unless it's egregious, unless it compares to what happened in New Orleans a year ago. And honestly, Rich, I feel bad for Al Riveron, because I don't even think he knows what the standard is. And when you put a rule in that says that you want something called one way on the field and another way when you look at it in replay, I mean, he was doomed to failure right off the bat. And while they hoped that they could survive through the playoffs and not have this rule be a focus, well, guess what? Round 1, wild card, it's a focus. So pretty hard to say to a coach. If I'm Al Riveron, and I think he made a huge mistake with his pool report when he said there wasn't enough for a foul.
Oh, boy.
I think he brought double controversy on himself, because it's offensive pass interference. Rudolph is big. The defender is smaller. The push to the chest creates separation. I think if you're going to be honest, you got to say to Sean Payton, yep, it was offensive pass interference, but not big enough for me to stop the game and call. And you go, are you kidding me? I mean, this is how bad that rule is.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.